Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, April 18. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called on the United Kingdom to ensure that pre-1973 Commonwealth Caribbean migrants currently detained as illegal immigrants are released. He says the UK government should also provide the necessary assistance to have their cases urgently reviewed and their rights restored. Prime Minister Holness expressed those thoughts during a private meeting with Caribbean leaders and British Prime Minister Theresa May on Tuesday. Between 1948 and 1973, thousands of Caribbean migrants were invited to rebuild Britain post-World War II. Those migrants and their dependents were granted indefinite leave to remain in Britain, but changes in immigration laws have forced them to prove their legal status, which has been troublesome for most. British Prime Minister Theresa May has apologized for the situation and pledged that there will be no removals or detention as part of any assistance to help the citizens get their proper documentation in place. These talks are unfolding during Prime Minister Andrew Holness's week-long working visit in England. On Tuesday, he met with Prince Charles of Wales and discussed the environment, the blue economy, infrastructure, the use of plastics, waste to energy, and youth and community development. Mr. Holness also engaged in bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of Mauritius, which focused on fueling economic growth through public sector transformation, tourism, cultural exchange, and trade. Back on the island, the state's drive to increase access to speedy justice has been bolstered by a contract to expand the Court of Appeal building in Kingston. The Justice Ministry signed the $846 million contract with YP Seaton and Associates on Tuesday. The 4-month project is scheduled for completion in August, and the court should be fully operational by September. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the expansion is integral to the state's reform agenda, revealing that more judges will be hired for the new courtrooms.
My hope is that in this fiscal year, not only will you have the 12 judges, which means that you can have all 3 courts available to have 3 panels, but I want to announce that later in the year, the constitutional changes will be made so that retired judges who are available and can serve may well be invited to sit on some of these panels.
A contract was signed on Tuesday to draft 7 technical papers to go towards the development of the island's National Spatial Plan. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Audrey Sewell, says the plan is much needed.
The National Spatial Plan will ensure the optimal use of the nation's land and marine resources and outline the framework for their effective use and management. The plan will therefore provide the strategic spatial framework to guide national development and investment decision-making.
The Ministry of Education says it will continue to lend trauma support to the Godfrey Stewart High School following the killing of a student on the weekend. The ministry sent a trauma team to the Westmoreland-based institution on Monday to conduct grief counseling sessions with staff and students dealing with the death of 18-year-old Stephen Beckford. The teen was killed by a group of men who shot him and a female relative in their home at about 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. Stephen was pronounced dead at hospital while the relative has been admitted. The teaching staff and Stephen's school colleagues have spoken highly of the teen who was preparing for his CXC exams. Education Minister Senator Roel Reid has offered condolences for what he says is a most tragic incident.
Everyone had something good to say about him and knew he had so much potential. I want to send my condolences therefore to his family and friends, and I urge the nation again to look out for our precious children.
And finally, the Ministry of Health says its Jamaica Moves campaign is significantly influencing healthy lifestyle practices among citizens. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the campaign has generated a greater awareness of the importance of a balanced diet, exercise, and knowing your health status. He is encouraging more Jamaicans to join the Jamaica Moves initiative.
And don't wait until you're sick to go to the doctor. At least once a year, and don't wait until you're sick to go to the doctor.
Minister Tufton was addressing a function to mark Jamaica Moves' 1-year anniversary. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.